Where are they now? The 25 college football quarterback recruits ranked higher than Shedeur Sanders in the 2021 college football recruiting class 4 years later. Well, to start, just in front of him at 25 is Demetrius Davis Jr. coming out of Houston, Texas, who committed to play for Auburn. He never played at all for the Tigers, transferring to Alabama State, where he just also was not very good, and then transferred to UTSA this season, where he didn't throw a single pass. And coming in at 24 is Donovan McCulley, coming in at Indianapolis, Indiana, who committed to play for the Indiana Hoosiers. And at Indiana, he'd be converted to a wide receiver and had a great season there in 2023 with over 600 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns, as he was named a second-team All-Big Ten selection. After this, though, he didn't do much of anything in 2024 and just transferred to play for Michigan next season. And at number 23 is Gavin Wimsatt, coming out of Owensboro, Kentucky, who committed to play for Rutgers. And in his 3 years at Rutgers, he was a solid quarterback but never amazing, transferring to Kentucky this season, where he also was not great. And coming in at number 22 is Jake Rubley, coming in at West Des Moines, Iowa, who committed to play for Kansas State. And in his 2 years at Kansas State, he looked like a bust, not doing much of anything, and then transferred to Illinois State this season, where he also did not do much of anything. And at number 21 is Luke Altmaier, coming out of Starkville, Mississippi, who committed to play for Ole Miss. And he was a backup for the Rebels for 2 seasons before transferring to Illinois, where he's been a solid quarterback for the last 2 years and is coming back to the Fighting Illini for 2025. And cracking into the top 20 is Eli Stowers, coming into Denton, Texas, who committed to play for Texas A&M. And he never played there, transferring to New Mexico State, where he became converted to a tight end and had a solid season before transferring to Vanderbilt last year, where he was dominant, being a first-team All-SEC selection. He had over 600 receiving yards and is returning to the Commodores in 2025. And coming in at number 19 is Benron Morton, coming into Eastland, Texas, who committed to play for Texas Tech. And in his first 2 years there, he was a backup before taking over as a starter for the last 2 years and has been extremely good for the Red Raiders and is returning in 2025. And at number 18 is Carlos Del Rio Wilson, coming out of Cartersville, Georgia, who committed to play for Florida. And he never played at all for the Gators, transferring to Syracuse, where he was a complete bust, and then now currently is transferring to Marshall for 2025. And coming in at number 17 is Caden Salter, coming out of Cedar Hill, Texas, who committed to play for Tennessee. And he would actually be kicked off Tennessee's football team, transferring to Liberty, where he was an extremely good quarterback there for 4 seasons, being named the Conference USA Most Valuable Player. But after his 4 years at Liberty, he recently just transferred to play for Colorado next season. And at number 16 is Sawyer Robertson, coming out of Lubbock, Texas, who committed to play for Mississippi State. And he never really got to play at Mississippi State, transferring to Baylor, where he also sat for his first season, and then in 2024 took over as a starter, playing amazing. And cracking into the top 15 is Preston Stone, coming out of Dallas, Texas, who committed to play for SMU. And he was a backup his first 2 years there before in 2023 taking over as a starter and playing great, throwing for 3,000 passing yards and 28 touchdowns. After this, though, he was sadly the backup in 2024 and just transferred to Northwestern for next season. And coming in at number 14 is Garrett Nussmeier, coming out of Flower Mound, Texas, who committed to play for LSU. And he was a backup in his first 3 years at LSU before taking over as a starter in 2024, playing amazing, throwing for over 4,000 passing yards, and is now expected to be the Heisman favorite for 2025. And at number 13 is Jalen Milroe, coming out of Katy, Texas, who committed to play for Alabama. And he didn't start there until 2023, but had 2 amazing seasons as the Crimson Tide starting quarterback, being one of the most athletic players in college football. And now he's expected